Today I'm going to be doing a full face of MUA. Fun fact, I actually think the first ever product, like makeup products that I bought myself when I was maybe 11, 12, was one of the £4 MUA eyeshadow palettes that they used to sell in Superdrug. They still have some palettes that are like £4. Okay, maybe before then I had like a foundation from Asda or something. It is still super affordable, so I'm going to do a full face. I basically went into Superdrug and just bought one of everything. The person at checkout was probably like, wow, you really like this brand? But we'll see, shall we? If you have any other brands that you want me to do a full face of, let me know. And if you like this kind of video, give this a thumbs up because that'll really help me out. A few of these things I have tried before, but a lot of them are new to me, but I have used this lip balm. Hydra Juice Peptide Lip Balm. This is the watermelon sorbet one. They feel really nice. I'm just not crazy about the watermelon one. I kind of wish I went for another flavour. First things first, I've got a primer. I went for the jelly primer, the hydrating jelly primer, which says it's got hyaluronic acid, nourishing vitamin B5 and hydrating glycerin. This one just sounded the most like my kind of primer. And just to put like the price into perspective, I'm pretty sure this was the most expensive thing out of everything I bought. Whoa, that is really jelly like. This was £5.50. Everything else I think it was like £5 or under. Do you see like the jelly texture? I thought that this one maybe might be the most similar to like the e.l.f. Power Grip kind of thing. Although, you know what? The texture reminds me, has anybody tried the Illamasqua primer that's also like a gel? It's that same kind of like wobbly jelly texture, like flubber. It definitely feels more hydrating than like the e.l.f. one and the Milk makeup one. It seems to spread a lot easier. It's not as sticky. It almost like turned into a more liquidy formula. Oh, now it's going sticky. Whoa, now it's going really sticky. It reminds me a lot of the Illamasqua primer, and I really like the Illamasqua primer. Maybe that's a dupe, you know. It's sticky. What else will stick to my face? Okay, not quite. Yeah, I like the feel of that. So for my foundation, I'm pretty sure they just make this one. And this is the Pro Base Longwear Matte Finish Foundation. And I went for the shade 102. I'm not gonna lie, I've got no idea if this is gonna match me. And it has this kind of spatula thing to put it on. It seems very thick. I don't tend to really go for matte foundations that often these days, so I don't know if I'm starting off with this, you know, not being my preference. How much am I supposed to put on? Wait, is this supposed to be a spatula? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I've just zoomed you in a little bit, so let's see how we get on with this. Part of me is kind of like, I don't know, I wouldn't generally pick this foundation description, if you get what I mean. These days I don't tend to go for like a thick full coverage matte foundation. Back in the day I would have eaten this up. That was exactly my kind of thing. This brush, by the way, is from e.l.f. It's the e.l.f. Liquid Bronzer and Contour Brush. Okay, it's very, very matte. I am not sure how I feel about that. And I think the colour's a little bit light compared to my neck. I do have some fake tan on. I'm just going to try with my sponge on my forehead and see if that gives me a nicer finish. Okay, that seemed to kind of sheer it out a little bit, but it also still just looks literally completely matte. I mean, they're not lying. That's what it claimed to do, so I guess I can't really expect much else, but it's not really my kind of formula. If I was to use this again, I would probably mix it with something like a glowy, something like the REM Beauty Highlighter Serum or like the L'Oreal Glow Shield. It has pretty good coverage though. Like I had a pretty hefty spot there and it's mostly covered it, and then I've got a couple of scars down here which is mostly covered. I will need a concealer, but you can see like I have studio lights on in here and my face is not really reflecting anything. It doesn't look awful, it's just not my preference. It does look a little bit dry and you can tell that I'm wearing makeup. It's definitely not one of like the no makeup kind of products. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it looks bad. It's fine. And I think it was only like a £5. Then I did also get a concealer. I think this was like £2.50 or something, really, really cheap. And again, I picked up the shade 101, which was next to the foundation. I think this is gonna be really light, but we'll give it a try. This says it's a lightweight cover-up for imperfections with a smooth, flawless finish. Hang on, it says lightweight on the back, but on the front it says full coverage concealer. This looks so light. Whoa, okay, that's like literally almost white. Start with that much? I might have to use something else on my spots, otherwise this is literally just going to highlight them. It's doing something. Blended nicely. And to be fair, it says lightweight. It feels lightweight. I definitely wouldn't say that's full coverage though. Let's put a little bit on my chin. A little bit down my nose. Yeah, this is definitely going to be too light if I put it on my spots. I might just actually go in with another layer of the foundation where I need it. It's blended fine and it does actually feel quite lightweight under my eyes. I thought it was going to feel thicker and heavier like the foundation. Definitely is like a thinner consistency than the foundation. But I personally would like a little bit more coverage and maybe a little bit more dewiness, glowiness. Just going to use the foundation in a couple little extra areas. Yeah, this definitely isn't my colour, is it? Maybe when I have my natural skin tone, this shade would be better suited to me, but it just looks a little bit pale, but it's fine. I've got bronzer. Okay, we're off to a mixed start. The next things that I've actually got, I was actually just going to use the bronzer and blush that I've already tried, and I think I used both the bronzer and blush in my video where I did a full face for under 50 quid. So if you want to see me use this and also the liquid blush that's in like a squeezy tube, go and watch that video, because this is, I think, £4.75. The liquid blush is £3, but they actually messaged me on Instagram and asked if I would like to try their new, they've got blush balms and bronzer balms. So I was like, oh yes, please. These were gifted, but I'm not obligated to talk about these at all. This is not sponsored. There's actually quite a lot of shades. These are £4 each, and I think they've actually just recently launched. These, I think, are supposed to be like dupes potentially for like the little Milk makeup mini bronzers and blushes, or they also kind of remind me, because they're described as a beauty balm, it reminds me of like the Merit Beauty blushes and the Merit Beauty bronzer kind of things. But the packaging's very cute. They're like little diddy products. We've got Americano, which is a very deep shade. That one's not going to be for me. Honestly, looking at these three shades, I'm like, they look very similar. I don't know which one to go for. Warm Bronze, Shadow, or Sculpt. Sculpt maybe looks a little bit darker. I think I might go for Shadow, you know? Let's give that one a try. And then they also sent the blushes and a highlighter as well. Ah, one of the blushes is shimmery. I am excited. There's a Rouge Noir shade, which is like a deep burgundy. There is a Marshmallow shade, which is a bright pink. And then the highlighter I probably actually will use. It's just called Highlight. It's like a white chromey kind of colour. But we've got Berry Blush and Blush Baby. Okay, wait, let me do my bronzer first because I'm getting carried away. I really like the little dome shape. I don't know, they look very aesthetically pleasing. It says you can use them on your cheeks, lips and eyes, but I'm just gonna go for my cheeks. So maybe let's do one side. Oh, that's actually cooler than I thought it was gonna be. Like cooler toned. Oh, damn it, maybe I should have gone for the warm shade, because I like a bit more of a warm bronzer. I'm going to blend it in like this on this side. Get out the way here. And then on the other side, I'm going to try applying it to my brush. Yeah, that's definitely like a cool toned contour shade, which is interesting because in the thing, I don't know, it looked more warm to me. Maybe it's the lighting in this room. Blended nicely. Let's now try the other side, applying it to my brush, because this is my favourite way to apply my cream products recently. Just so I can kind of control the coverage, or like, you know, where they go. Okay, so it's very natural sort of vibes, which is fine. Let's also try on the cheek. Maybe that was a bit much. I'm not sure it's loving mixing with the super matte foundation underneath, but I'm glad that it's bringing back a little bit of glow to my face, in all honesty. Nice. Well, that's definitely done the job, hasn't it? Let's do some down my nose. That looks like a really good nose contour shade. Oh my god, I'm so excited to try the blushes. I really hope that they have a similar formula, because they feel really creamy. And they've got like a bit of a, even though it's described as a balm, I was a little bit nervous because I was like, is it literally going to feel like Vaseline on my face? It doesn't, but it definitely has more of like an oiliness to it, which I don't know, I kind of like. It makes it more like creamy and smooth and blendable. That is a great shade for my nose. Okay, cool, love. You know what? I'm also gonna try Warm Bronze just because I wanna see if this can bring a bit more warmth to my face, because it's feeling quite cool toned. Ah, I should have just gone for this one, because even on the skin, this is pulling a bit more, not cool toned, but it's not super warm. Do you understand what I mean? Like that one would be fine for me as like a bronzer kind of thing, because that's what I like to do. But hey ho, it is what it is. They do look kind of similar though. Hopefully they have some shades in between. Otherwise they're quite big jumps between the shades. The only problem is I can kind of see, do you see where the matte foundation is like on the rest of my face? Because the two formulas are so different. They're not like meshing that great, but I really think that these will blend nicely with my regular makeup products. Those are definitely something I would use again for sure. I'm going to try the blushes now. So I'm going to try Blush Baby, which looks like, oh, okay, that's very pigmented. And then this one has got shimmer. It's called Berry Blush, and it's like a, oh, that one's got like some gold shimmers in it. Yes, see it? Okay, I'm excited. This is the shimmery one. Let's try that on this side. Yeah, wow, it's very creamy. Maybe I should use a slightly smaller brush. I feel like this e.l.f. one is massive. I'm gonna use my Rare Beauty brush. Pretty. Okay, let's just take a little bit more directly onto the brush and build upon that. Ooh, I like. Again, it's kind of annoying because like with a matte foundation underneath and then a radiant blush, the two aren't mixing that great, so it kind of just looks like it's sitting on top of my, actually no. I was gonna say it looks like it's sitting on top of my foundation, but no, the more that I've just done this and blended it in a bit more. That looks really nice. Let's also put some of that down my nose, but then I do want to try the other shade. Oh, that is nice. That is a bit of me. I definitely prefer this so far to the liquid blush that I tried. But let's try the other shade, Blush Baby. This one was even more pigmented on the other side, but this one doesn't have shimmer. It's just like more of a radiant kind of finish without the glitter in it. Okay, this one's definitely a bit brighter and bolder, but that also looks really nice. They look kind of similar blended out on my face. This one's just got more of a shine. Do you see what I mean? This one's definitely not matte. It's still like a glowy kind of finish because it's that slightly balmy texture, but not overly balmy that is like stripped off everything underneath. Really like both of those. For £4, they're really nice. I'm going to take some more of the shimmer one on this side just because why not? Yeah, I like the way that they're blending. Yeah, I prefer the shimmery one for sure. Okay, I'm feeling more me now that I've got a bit of glowiness back. You wouldn't catch me saying that years ago, bloody hell. Unless it was a stripe of the MUA highlighter across my cheeks. I had no idea which powder to go for. They had a few to choose from. So I just went for the mattifying translucent powder for all skin tones apparently. Oh shit! That just took the whole lid off. Oh no, it's all in my lap. Okay, just be careful. It looks kind of yellow. I'm a bit scared. You know what, now that I've actually put the blush and the bronzers on, my skin actually looks really nice. Like it's taken away so much of the dryness of the foundation, which is a big plus. Taking some of that on a powder puff. It looks very, very light. And I'm just gonna... Oh my god. Oh boy. Oh oh no, I should have tapped off the excess. I didn't think I'd need to. Most powders, I just go in with it, like straight off the bat. Oh, Soph, you silly sausage. Whoopsie. Let me just take a clean brush and just... Oh, it was going well up until that point. Okay, it's a very pigmented powder, so just be careful. I'm gonna dab off the excess onto my hand and then set to see if that works out any better. Okay, that's better, that's better. I'm sure they had a couple of shades of this, or maybe it was another loose powder where they had different skin tones. Maybe I should have gone for one of those instead of just the translucent one. But I mean, it did say on this one for all skin tones. I really don't think that would be for all skin tones. Like if you have deep skin and you're putting on this powder, I think it's going to show up quite like ashy looking. I mean, it's definitely added some brightness and it doesn't feel horrible, which is good. If you just look at this side, it actually feels really nice. Like it feels nice and smooth. I just didn't realize quite like how much it was going to apply, so it looks a little heavy on this side, but luckily it's kind of blended out, which is good. I think it's slowly turning my face more pale. Would you agree? Like it's almost made me look a bit ghostly. I would say just go very lightly handed with it. In terms of the texture though, like it feels pretty nice. Weirdly though, my face still feels a little bit sticky. Almost doesn't feel like it's completely set. And up close, like I don't think it looks too bad. Like it doesn't feel super dry. For my bronzer and blusher powders, I went for the Bronze Matte Bronzing Powder. They didn't seem to have a glowy bronzer. I don't know if they make one. I generally prefer a bronzer that's got like a little bit of a glow, but we will give this one a try. Oh, cool. It's not crazy pigmented, which is good. Sometimes really affordable bronzers are so pigmented that you stick your brush in it and then put it on your face and then you cannot blend a thing. But no, that looks fine. I think I'm gonna have to bronze up my face quite a lot because I'm looking a little bit pale. How do I do this? Do I put some on my chin? Because my chin looks really bright. Put some on my jaw. Okay, that's kind of helped, doesn't it? You know what? That's not bad. Do a little bit of nose sculpting. Oh, that brush is too skinny. People always ask where this nose contour brush is from. It was from an old iconic London brush set, but I don't think they sell it anymore, which is so annoying. If anyone knows of a similar nose contour brush, let me know because it's such a good one. Did you say pinky bark? I'm just going to take some more of that powder to like tone it down a bit. And then same for the blush. I couldn't see any shimmery blushes. They had their old school highlighters, which I was so tempted to buy, but I was like, you know what? I used to love the MUA highlighters. They are an old classic, but I just know for a fact that they're not my kind of taste anymore because they were quite like a thicker formula. They were very bold and I loved them back in the day, but it's not really like my preference anymore. I tend to go for highlighters that aren't as like noticeable. So I didn't get one, but I am going to try the cream highlighter. But for the blush, I went for the matte blush in Rose Tea, which to me looked like a much more of a peachy shade. So I was like, yeah, that looks like a bit of me. So let's add some of this. Ooh. I used to be all about the peachy blushes. I don't know why recently I've been leaning more towards like pinky toned blushes. Yeah, I like that. I mean, it's just a matte blush, like basic standard kind of matte blush, but that's a pretty colour. I like it. I'm gonna try this highlight stick over the top of my powder, which maybe you'll think I'm crazy, but there's been a few products recently that have actually been working when I've tried this. So, okay, it doesn't actually come out with any colour. I'm scared. I thought it was gonna be like white shimmery, but it's literally just kind of like clear. Maybe the tiniest bit of white shimmer in there. This reminds me of the Merit Beauty one. Could this be a dupe? It feels just like a regular balm. The Merit Beauty one I actually liked. It was very subtle, but it didn't break apart my makeup, so that's going to be the main test. With any liquid highlighter, I highly recommend either using a sponge or using a brush and just like gently dabbing it over the top. Do not do that or it's going to remove your makeup. So let's try it on one side with this is a brush from Refa, which is the Alexandra Arnell brush. And I'm just gonna gently dab this over the top. Okay, there's not really any shimmer in it. I kind of wish that there was. It looks like it's gonna have shimmer, but then actually it's more just like a balm. Okay, I mean obviously it's gonna feel sticky, but don't touch your face. I'm then gonna try with my beauty blender on the other side, which is also kind of working. I think I slightly prefer the brush side. Yeah, I think the brush side applied it a bit more. God, I used to hate this kind of formula. Who am I? I actually can make liquid and cream highlighters work. I mean, compared to the Merit Beauty one, this one seems even more subtle, but it's doing a similar kind of thing. Basically, if you've done your makeup and you've powdered and you want to bring back some areas that are almost like, it kind of unsets them. Why can you not really see it on that side? But obviously there's pros and cons because it will leave your cheeks slightly sticky. It has worked. It almost gives you like a little oily patch. But as someone with oily skin, I would much rather place an area of glow where I want it to be instead of it being my whole face. Do you know what I mean? Again, like for £4, it does the job. For my eyebrows, I already tried the Brow Define pencil, which is like a little skinny brow pencil. This was £3. That worked really well. But then I also saw this, which is a Brow Define eyebrow pen. I quite like an eyebrow pen. I got the shade medium brown. Annoyingly, there were no testers for this. So I couldn't even swatch it. So I've got no idea if this is gonna work. Then I also went for the Brow Define tinted brow mascara, and I went for dark brown in this one just because the medium brown looked really, really warm, and I don't know, sometimes I find dark brown brow gels are cooler toned. Oh my goodness, this looks like it's got fibers in it, right? Do you see some of those fibers? That's crazy. Okay, I'm a bit scared because it looked like it was going to deposit loads of product. I'm not sure how I feel about the crazy long fibers in this. Ah, got it all underneath. Interesting formula. It almost feels quite dry. Oh, I don't like these fibers. They're too big. Oh, wait, I think that was just one of the brush bristles that was sticking out. Okay, never mind. Okay, this eyebrow seemed to go better than this eyebrow. I don't know why I accidentally, like, I've made a bit of a mess of this side. It's definitely given me this like full effect, but the formula's a little bit odd, like it's quite dry, but it's doing the job. Actually, they do feel like they're kind of, yeah, they're set in place there. I think just be careful, like maybe wipe off the excess from around the brush. Okay, let's give this brow pen a go. Ooh. Okay, promising. Generally for brow pens, I tend to find that if you pick a shade that's darker than your hair, it will perform a lot better because they seem to be like lighter in pigment than a brow pencil. Quite a lot of my brow pens, I go for like the shade darker than I need. So I think the next one down looked like it was going to be really, really dark, but this is working perfectly fine to fill in the little sparse areas and to do the little like hairs at the front that I like. And it doesn't seem to have run out by the time I got to the other eye, which is sometimes a struggle with brow pens. Yeah, I like that. That's really worked. I would use that again. Is it an okay colour match for my hair? Hopefully. Yeah. Nice. They had a deal in Superdrug where I think if you spent over like £10 on MUA, you got a free lip thing, like a Hydra Juice lip stylo. And she was like, oh, let me just go and check for you because I think you can get something for free. She went over and she came back and then she was like, if I scan through all these products, because I think I'd spent like over 50 quid. She was like, I think you can get it more than once. Because you've spent quite a lot, I can go and get you like another 5 of these. I was like, no, it's fine. She was like, are you sure you don't want like all of them? I was like, no, I don't want to take them all. Like if anyone else goes to shop, there's going to be no freebie left. So I just took one. But this is the Hydra Juice Shimmer Lip Stylo with tripeptide and vitamin E. I'm just going to put on a little bit of this because the other lip balm's kind of fading. That other lip balm's really nice though. My lips feel really hydrated. Oh my good god. Well, I don't like that. I don't like it. I thought it was just going to be a lip balm. It's got like chunky glitter in it. Do you see this? Oh no, I'm not really a fan. It's like bitty from afar, and actually on camera it looks pretty nice, but up close it looks like grainy almost. It doesn't feel grainy on my lips, but do you see what I mean? Damn it, gosh darn it, that wasn't part of my plan. I literally thought I was just gonna be putting on a regular lip balm. Let's like blend it in a little. No, let's not. For my eyes, I already had this. This is the Neutral Wonderlust palette. Oh, you know what? I used this in my last video. Let me go get my other MUA palette, because I have another one which is bigger. But if you're in the lookout for a neutral palette, this is like, I said it in the video before, but like wedding vibes. Like, it's £3.75. It's such a good little palette. It's gorgeous for the price. Not even for the price. It's gorgeous, full stop. Instead, I'm going to use the Blush Nudes palette, which is £6 for 15 shades. It's been 16 years and it's only upped the price by £2. I feel like soon they'll probably have to put their prices up, because I know that most makeup brands are putting up their prices, and I wouldn't be surprised if this goes up soon. Like, you can't blame them. Like, running a cost of a business is increasing. I'm going to start with this shade here and just put that through my crease. I'm going to focus it on the outer corners. It's like a warm toned brown that leans slightly pinkish. Like, look, do you see how pigmented that is just off the bat? You know what? This palette would also be a great little wedding palette. If you wanted to do a slightly more pink toned wedding look, stun. And I'm just going to wing that out ever so slightly. That is actually a beautiful shade. I really, really like that. Also going to put some of that on my lower lash line. You know what I've just noticed, guys? My smile lines have already creased. It's interesting because I don't think, like, the powder, like even here where I didn't put any of that highlighter, my face almost feels like it's become unset again. I don't think the powder actually did that great of a job to set everything in place. I'm gonna use this pinky purple shimmer, which is a gorgeous shimmer. I'm gonna put some of this along my lash line, almost like as an eyeliner, and then I think I'm gonna take it sort of like halfway through my crease and do like a little graphic kind of shape, and then drag it back down, like winging that out a little bit. Okay, probably should have used a pointed brush. Let me just switch that up. Cool, yeah, I like that. This brush, by the way, is from number 7. It's the, there is no name written on it, but it's like a eyeshadow flat brush, but also you can use it for eyeliner. I'm going to take this sparkly pink colour. I'm just going to pick some up on my finger. This shade is absolutely stunning. And I'm going to put this all over the center of my lid. Look at that! Like, genuinely, they could sell this shade on its own for £6 and I'd buy it. It is so pigmented and it has this like gorgeous glittery kind of finish. If anything, actually, I think I've just used a bit too much of it, that it's kind of covered my whole eye. But if you just take a tiny bit on your finger, I'm just gonna see if I can actually dull that down a bit, because I didn't quite want it to be that bright. Let's like spread it out a bit over my lid. Like, look at that! It's stunning. So I'm applying with my finger and then using a fluffy brush to kind of like spread it out. And I've actually just put that all over my lid. You would never guess that that was from a £6 eyeshadow palette. It's so pretty! And then on my very inner corners, I'm going to take this shimmer over here. I actually don't think you could find nicer eyeshadows for the price. And that was only a few shades as well. I did also get an eyeliner. This looks huge. This is the Intense Colour eyeliner, and I got the shade Dusk. Oh wow, yeah, that feels really creamy. I just went for a classic brown. So I'm just gonna put a little tiny bit of that literally just on my outer corner lash line to make my lashes look a bit thicker. Literally just like that, and then I'm going to use it to tightline. Kind of just seems like a bog standard brown eyeliner, but it's very creamy, but it's doing the job. It was very cheap. If I hadn't just done this cool eyeshadow, I would use it to do a wing, but I don't really want to mess up the eyeshadow. But this is it on my hand, and it does seem quite like smudgeable. So it's not going to be like a long lasting one, but you know, basic brown eyeliner. I went for the glow one, the dewy makeup fixing spray. Because I was going for a matte foundation, I was like, I'm gonna go for the dewy mist. So let's take one of the browns from this eyeshadow palette. I'm gonna put that on my hand right there. And then I'm gonna spray it and see if it smudges. Ooh, the mister feels quite nice. Okay, let's just leave that to dry. In the meantime, I will do the rest of my face. Oh, hang on. Okay, that's spraying so randomly. I'm feeling it in some patches on my face and not feeling it on other patches. It's almost like the middle of my face was missing. But then my stomach feels wet. Okay, it's a bit of an inconsistent mister, but ooh, hello. One sec. Hang on a minute. It might just be one of those glowy mists that just like adds some oil back to your face and it isn't gonna set my makeup, which is fine if that's the case. Wow, it's really transformed the look of my skin though. Like, look at my forehead now. That looks lovely. When I do spray too much setting mist, I will just like go back and powder my T-zone. Otherwise, it's just a bit much in it. Okay, let's see on my hand. I have a feeling it's gonna smudge, but let's try. Okay, yeah. It's not held anything in place. At the start, I was like, oh, because it did feel slightly like sticky tacky, but no, like it's not gonna stop your makeup from disappearing, if you get what I mean. However, if you're after a nice little dewy mist, if you've got dry skin, I would suggest this. If you have oily skin, it's probably gonna be too much for you unless you're like me. And even though I have oily skin, I sometimes like to use a slightly oily mist to make my skin look more alive, and then I'll just keep like topping up my powder, so it's completely personal preference, but it definitely gave me a glow, made my skin look a lot more natural. This is the Loaded Lash XL Intense Volume Mascara. I have not seen anyone speak about this. That's what it looks like. If there's any other mascaras by MUA that you think I should have tried instead, let me know, because I don't know if I picked up the wrong one. I'd not really heard anything about MUA mascaras, so I just kind of picked one on a whim. Okay, so far it's looking very natural. It's super duper natural. Where's the XL Impact Volume? It's looking very natural. It feels quite dried out. Like it's quite a dry formula, which is usually good for volume, but I'm just not getting a lot of volume from it. It's building a little bit, but it's just not enough for me. Yeah, that one doesn't do it for me, unfortunately. I've managed to build it, but just not enough, and that took ages. The eyeshadow though, gorgeous. I got a lip liner. I think this is literally like £2.50. I went for the shade Sincere, which I'm hoping is going to be nice. Okay. It feels nice and creamy. It's just like a light brown sort of colour. It's quite a warm brown, but it's definitely doing the job. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. £2.50, can't go wrong. And then for the lipstick, I went for one of the Satin Sheer Lip Stylos. And again, they didn't have all the testers for these, so I've just picked up a random shade, which is the shade Super Nude, but I've got no idea if this is going to be too nude. Oh, that looks like it might be a bit light. Let's see, what does it go? Oh no, that does not look like a bit of me. It's like a baby pink colour. Oh, and I thought it was kind of like a tinted lip balm kind of thing, but it literally doesn't say that, so where did I get that from? Okay, wait. By itself, that would not be a bit of me. Dabbed in the middle, let me just blend it. I think it kind of goes with the eyes. I mean, it's a very baby pink. If you're into your pale baby pinks though, because I know that a lot of people are and they like it to kind of highlight the center, but it is definitely a very like peachy pink kind of color. But with that lip liner, it actually doesn't look half bad and it feels quite nice. Also, it's not like picking up on my dry patches or anything. So this is my finished face of MUA makeup. You know what? I might add up on the screen and put on how much it costs because everything is so affordable. There are definitely some bits in here that I would continue to use. But you know what? Like as a whole, overall, I'm not mad at that. I love doing these kind of videos, especially with like really affordable brands, because it goes to show that, okay, not everything from these super affordable cheap brands is going to be great, but they actually do have some hidden gems. And I think so many people discount a brand as a whole because they think, oh, that's just like cheap and cheerful. But no, some of the things are really good. Let me know if there's any other brands that you would like me to test. And to finish off the video, I'm going to answer a question of the day. If you have any other questions for me, let me know down below with the hashtag question of the day. Okay, today's question comes from Cariad Howat 6833. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. And they have said, hey Soph, question of the day. Do you think that Sabrina Carpenter will do another world stadium tour with her new album coming out soon in 2026 or not? Also, what are your tips on how to get tickets, please? Because I tried to get them for Sabrina last time and failed. Love you. So, I don't know if she will do another world tour because she's literally, is she still on tour? Has she finished her tour? Either way, her tour was really recent. I know she's been doing some festivals recently. I could potentially see her doing what Harry Styles did, where he kind of like extended his tour. Wasn't he touring for like 2 summers in a row? And I guess, I mean, Taylor was as well. Like maybe potentially Sabrina might want to try and, you know, keep going while her popularity is so huge, and maybe she will do another tour. But also I'm kind of like, she needs a break. Maybe she'll be having a bit of a break now. I really don't know. But I'm very excited for her album. And in terms of tips for getting tickets, oh my goodness, I feel like it's getting harder and harder to get concert tickets these days. I would say make sure you're signed up to any kind of pre-sales, whether it's like through your mobile network, if they do priority. Some of the websites, like I think Gigs and Tours, I don't know if they specifically sell Sabrina tickets because some artists will just do tickets through like AXS and Ticketmaster in the UK. But I think Gigs and Tours sometimes do their own pre-sale. So I would just say make sure to make sure you're signed up for all of the ticketing websites. Make sure you're signed up to the artist newsletters, because sometimes you can get pre-sale through those. If you're able to, try and get multiple people to try. Like if you've got a friend that you're going to go with or a family member, try and get them to try for tickets at the same time. And if you're not successful in the pre-sale and the public sale, I would say keep checking the websites like AXS and Ticketmaster, because sometimes towards the actual date of the concert, people can repost their tickets and they'll do like a fan-to-fan resale. And another website that I've used to get tickets before in the past is called Twickets. I think you can only list your tickets at like either face value or slightly more than face value to cover the fees, but people can relist their tickets on there. There's a site called Viagogo. I wouldn't recommend them. I know that some people have had success stories with Viagogo and they've been able to get tickets through them and it's been fine. I had major issues with Viagogo a few years ago and it completely put me off using them, and some people do scam on there, so I would just say be careful of Viagogo. But Twickets I have used, but also I don't want to put that out there and then if anybody gets scammed, but I'm pretty sure they have a better policy than like sites like Viagogo, where people can literally sell tickets for whatever price they want and rip people off. So I don't know, I hope that helped. If she does go on tour, I will keep my fingers crossed that you were able to get some, but who knows, I guess we'll have to wait and see. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, because yeah, I do test affordable makeup quite often, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!